Did you know that there's been more movies made about angels than there has been about Jesus himself? There are over 100 films that feature angels or angel-like beings spanning various genres and decades. Some notable examples include It's a Wonderful Life, Angels in the Outfield, and City of Angels. All good-hearted movies. But when there is only 34 movies that have been made about Jesus himself, but 100, and that's just movies. TV shows is a whole different area because there's been a ton of those too. Then what is this world trying to do? Well, get you to worship the angels, worship the elves, worship anything but Jesus. Because as Jesus said, that roaring wicked one is around every corner. And the fallen angels are the biggest deceivers. Now, this is my YouTube channel, okay? I'm showing this for a reason. See, at the top, that was the last video I did, which was just a short video about through the history of the world, how people believe that fallen angels, were not a good thing. Okay, it's gotten 2 views. Even though it says a copyright, if it just means in certain countries it's can't be seen. But 2 views. Below that is Bible verses. See how many views? 10 views. See the next one where my finger is? That's a haka dance. I know people on YouTube were messaging, what is that about? I think it's in New Zealand. It's their parliament. That was just some protest thing, that haka dance. I think with indigenous people or something like that. Then see below that, this is the police officer that was talking about it. You shouldn't have to, it shouldn't be a problem to talk about Jesus. That's gotten over 100 or 101 views. And then see the very last one, the trumpet angels, 7 views. So do you see a pattern here? These 2 in the middle, so that's what this world does. Because they don't want you to talk about that the angels, about the fallen angels. Because what they've wanted to, this world wants to present, because again, Jesus said who ran this terrain, and it's something wicked. This is what they want you to think of angels. Oh, angels, you can fall in love with them. They can decide. I mean, what is City of Angels about? Most people have seen the movie. His name is Seth, by the way. How interesting. Yeah. It's like the stage is more about the Bible than anything else. Seth falls in love with Meg Ryan, and she's a surgeon and doesn't believe, and that's the whole story. And so it's said that he gets to choose. He can choose to come to Earth, and he's not a bad angel. I don't know how true that is, though. I think that with the fall, because you're leaving, the temple of God. But it makes a good case for that. Oh, there's good fallen angels and bad. The Bible doesn't say that there's good ones. However, that said, it does say that angels intervene, and you should always be careful how you treat others, because you never know who may be an angel in disguise. Okay? So, and people throughout history have had experiences. I had an experience. I don't know if it was an angel, but it was something, it didn't make any sense. It was when I was in high school, and I rolled a Corvette, a Stingray Corvette. I lived up in the mountains of Escondido, and it's a curvy road coming down. And the radios in Stingrays are like on the floor. So I'm like trying to change the radio station and looking down. And when I looked up, I was about ready to go off the edge of the mountain. And so I whipped the steering wheel around, and it caused the vet to roll. Luckily, it didn't roll off the mountain cliff. But I couldn't get out of the driver's door. And so I climbed over to the passenger seat, and I was able to get out that door. And as soon as I got out of that door, this woman came out of nowhere, because I remember looking back, there was nobody behind me. This wasn't a busy road. Like I said, it was coming down a mountaintop. There was nobody behind me. She came out of nowhere as soon as because I didn't go unconscious or anything. I didn't even have to go to the hospital, believe it or not. And she's like, oh, you'll be okay. Come sit down here. And then she disappeared. Like I I sat down and I looked down. What am I sitting on? I was sitting on one of the wheels of the Corvette. And when I looked up, she was gone. There was no car or anything. She just disappeared. Then the police came and they drove me up to my house. I didn't need to be seen. I mean, that was back in the 80s, you know. I mean, it would have been a big deal, something like that now. But anyway, so yeah, that could have been I have no idea where that woman came from. There was nobody behind me, and I never even saw what car. She just appeared, sat me on the wheel of the car, and said I'd be okay, and then I never saw her again. So and people have talked about things like that happen because God will command angels to go in and help something. Not always, but usually people will tell you of those stories. So if they come down here, they're being ordered to by God to intervene in a situation. But to come and be human like this movie portrays, yeah, no, they would be fallen then. But it's not just movies. That movie, City of Angels, became a whole hospital show, as if there's not enough hospital shows. You know, so it's all wanting you to get, see them as something, oh, they're so amazing, angels. Because people envision the angels like this, don't they? Yeah. But in the Bible, we're not, this is what this world has portrayed them to be. They have wings, but really they have like 6 wings. Like on their feet, around their face, yeah, like they're just but this is designed to get you to be like, oh, it's so angelic, it's so beautiful. Oh, I'm going to start worshiping the angels. This angel is my angel. Yeah, that's what it's designed to do. That's why this world pushes more angels than actually Jesus. They do the same thing with this. Yeah, the elves. Now, it's all, because it all goes back to different paganism stuff, okay? But it gets to, get you excited about, oh, the elves, it's to get you to worship, like when you look up at the sky and it's like, it's just amazing sometimes, right? And it's like, it's to get you, this world wants to get you to worship everything but Jesus. It's the goal. So a lot of people, because, people say that Christmas goes back to a pagan holiday, think that, oh, I can't celebrate Christmas. I think that's a bunch of bunk. I do. I think that what is important to Jesus is that you don't start worshiping the angels, you don't start worshiping the elves, you don't start worshiping the stars and the sky, but you worship the Creator that created those things. That's the key. And in Revelations, Michael, I believe this is Michael, tells John, because John is having the vision. He's the one that wrote the book of Revelations. Do not worship me. Do not do it. And he's stern about it. Then I fell down at his feet to worship him, but he said to me, you must not do that. I am a fellow servant with you and your brothers who hold to the testimony of Jesus. Worship God, for the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. And as I said, you don't need to worry about the fallen angels and our government colluding, because it says in Psalms, for he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. God does protect. And this is Jude. This is really, if they would have left the book of Enoch in the Bible, it would have been really clear to people. Enoch was really, that's key. But it's in Jude anyway, so Jude's in the Bible. And the angels who did not stay within their own position of authority, but left their proper dwelling, he has kept in eternal chains under gloomy darkness until the judgment of the great day. The gloomy darkness, the eternal chains dwelling underneath. And what has our government been doing? Oh, a project called Immaculate Constellation. Really, it's about those stars that fell to earth and are below the earth. The subterranean inhabitants that come above the earth for certain things, but they fall to the earth. They live below the earth. Some change it, but again, God allows Lucifer a free reign for a short period of time to wreak havoc. But while God does let Lucifer wreak havoc for a short period of time, as it says in Matthew, and he will send out his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Yes, even though presidents may have their elect, it's God's elect that God chooses. That's what's most important.